What up, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Live number 122. 122. How's everybody doing today? We got people in the chat already. What up, Z? First one in the chat. Hello, Deep D. Good morning to you as well. What up, Skeet? What's going on, Jay? Ooh, hello, Marilyn. We got a whole bunch of people in the house already today. Right on, right on. I feel like I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before. Oh, and Fozzie is once again early. Nice, Fozzie. Welcome, welcome. I've said it before, and I've been wrong before, but we'll see if I'm wrong or not today. I feel like this one's gonna be relatively, I don't want to say easy, but it's gonna be chill. I haven't tried this one yet, but I'm anticipating, well, I know doing these, as you know, I call them the C shades, are going to be rather challenging. They're going to be tough. And then I'm anticipating keeping the space between this G and H. I don't think this will be the hard part, but I have a feeling I'm just going to always end up with its H too far away. I could be wrong. That's just a guess. I don't think I could ever possibly have enough practice with the C's, Fozzie. Kanan C's are just endlessly hard to do. I need more, but so that we got two of them today. So there we go. We got two essentially C's in this signature, because I don't execute that shade so nice and short as much as I would like. I would love all of my C's to look like Kanan C's. That would be great. Put this to the side. We'll get warmed up here. We're writing with white ink again today. How's everybody's day? What are you guys up to? Are we practicing? Are we trying the Sling and Sunday challenge as well? What are you guys doing? Sure. Yeah. Sweet. Ooh. Package from Friedrich. That's exciting. Sounds exciting. I was just on a Zoom call not long ago discussing the Jinhao 9019 or 9019. I don't know how people are calling it. Fountain pen, which is apparently incredible, and it's a $13 pen. I've heard a lot about it, and I think I'm gonna get one. Ooh, tacos, nice. I had ramen today. Yeah, I agree, Fozzie. That one was a doozy. I concur. This paper's not flat. Why is this paper not flat? We don't have as many circular forms today, so that's going to be a bit less stress than what we had to do last week. Maybe. I'm going to get a Jinhao the 9019. Yeah. And I think a dark blue. I like the red one because it looks sort of like Urushi. Not actual Urushi, obviously, but it's the similar color. But I think the navy blue one is calling my name. I'm not a pink guy, but I think, thank you very much. You're not a fan? "30 minutes? How? Oh, I would have so much trouble teaching a class and staying under 30 minutes. I can't do anything and stay under 30 minutes. My Mont Blanc classes are an hour, and that's a struggle for me. Well, that's no fun, Marilyn. Sorry to hear that. yes, I do have a 149. Those are what I use to teach my classes. No, actually, I want to get, you can get the nib units really cheap. Yeah, you can get the nib units really cheap for the 9019. So I'm tempted to get, I'm not a nib grinder, I don't pretend to be a nib grinder or anything like that. It's very different than the tuning I do on dip pens. But I'm just curious. So since the replacement nib units are quite cheap, I'm planning on ordering some nib units and just attacking one and seeing what I can do with it. Wait, 149. No, yes, sorry, 146 is what I use for my classes. I do have a 149 here, and yeah, they are big. 146 is the size of the pens that I use for my class. Sorry, I had that wrong. The Legrand. That class should be fun. It's coming up. Hello, Diego. Is it Diego or Eloani? Which do you prefer? Or did I even say Eloani right? Eloni? Oh, no circles today. Well, some, but not like last week. That just knowing that there's less circles is such a it makes for such a relief. The main two circular forms are not this first oval, but we have the second oval is relatively circular, and then it connects into the connection to the H, which is also somewhat circular on the left side before it comes down. I'm used to making that a little straighter, so I gotta keep rounding that out. Like so. Cool. Sounds good. Thank you very much. It takes 2 extra little ovals, but those are fun. Fun little narrow little mini ovals. Alright, just to get in the habit of creating that shade. That's what we're looking for. Cut it off a little sooner and make our exit stroke slightly less long, a little bit shorter. That's what we want. Idea. That shade is so short. That shade is so short. Coming out of the shade, so you have something like this. If you're coming out, you get like that little corner right there when you change direction. I think the key, like for when I do a standard, if I was just gonna do a regular C, a habitual C for me, something like that. I think the one thing I have to keep in mind to make this a Kanan shape, with the exception of cutting my shade off way sooner than I want to and it feels weird, but taking this downstroke rather than transitioning into my horizontal oval, bringing this down there, and then when I come up here, then you get that Kanan look. They seem to come lower. When they get here, they just keep going down. Hello, Florist Hope. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. This is my alphabet t-shirt. I've been contemplating working on a variation of it, similar format, but one that is less just backdrop and the thin hairlines. I want to do one with like a little more color, slightly thicker lines, just so it's a little more visible, like backdrop, and try to make it will look less traditional, less ornamental penmanship, and more fun design, as like a version 2 of this t-shirt, I think. But as we all know, t-shirt ideas are plenty. I was at a dance show not long ago, and there was a vendor there, and he had some really cool shirts with these like really cool pink and vibrant and not graffiti-esque, but kind of in my head like a fun graffiti-esque type design. And I got wondering if I could do that with, like, do that same sort of design aspect and apply it to an ornamental penmanship letter or word. So that's an experiment I'm working on, you know, in my spare time. I think I'm going to edit scrapbooks again today. I had a lot of fun doing that last week. I know the video gets a little choppy here and there. I mess with some settings inside the programs that I use to see if I can alleviate that a little bit. But, yeah. I think, was it yesterday or the day before that? I finished up the scrapbook we were doing last week. If you want to see it, the PDF of it is currently on my website. Along with 2 scrapbooks from Scranton. And then I'll work on the next one today, or another one in the collection today. I used to make t-shirts so often back in the day. Like when I lived in Los Angeles, I had custom spray painted. They were like, I made it, was it a stencil? And then I spray painted it on a shirt. And then I had a friend who had one of those, it wasn't Cricut, but it was essentially like a Cricut, like an at-home screen printing machine or device. And we used that to make a bunch of shirts. I remember once I was in Toronto. I was on a trip, was for a dance audition, and in my bag I had some like iron-on t-shirt transfers, and in the place I was staying, in our friend's apartment, in like one evening, just the day was done, we were all chilling, I got an iron and made a custom shirt. It was back with my dance name was Swavey, S-W-A-V-E-Y, and I did like the Run DMC sort of logo. I used to make custom shirts all the time without proper like technique or tools or anything. I need to get in the habit of doing that more often now. Shorter shade, please. It's a little shorter. What if I like stop? No, I feel like I can't stop because then the flow will be ruined of that shape. sweet, sweet, sweet. Although there's no C in this signature technically at all, and that's the first letter I go to practice. Oh, see, so shade size, that's kind of what we're looking for. My entry oval needs to come. There's no C in this signature, but ideally my entry oval is a, excuse me, a little more open. It's interesting watching these videos back, like not the whole thing, but and just seeing the difference between like the first few strokes of the day versus like 15, 20, an hour long into the writing session, how much the signatures or the designs sort of develop as the day goes. It's cool to see. Yeah, I guess that happens, Marilyn. Okay, that's what we want. Relatively pointy on top. The idea. Hello, Cheryl. How are you today? Oh, okay, now we're getting this ugly ending to our flourish, though we gotta focus on our ending stroke just a little bit. But actually, let's move on to adding this to the signature. Not as a capital C, but as an H. Okay, this has to cross through there, so this has to drop lower. Closer together. Hello, Mr. Grimes. How are you doing this evening? Not too shabby. Still too far apart, though. And then this has to drop down way lower. Okay. Ooh, fun! Yes, follow along. Please do. Join in the journey challenge. Hello, Ojaswini. I didn't even see you pop in here. Welcome. Wondering where you were. Too bad. Felt a little slow and thinky though. This needs to be round. Smoother. Hello, Xenia. Welcome. Good plan, Marilyn. Good plan. Okay. Lower, please. Lower, lower, lower. And then this. So many of my own little habits. As I mentioned, one of the reasons I chose this signature was because there was some discussions going on in the Creatrium this past week, or last week, about this entry oval, specifically going into shade stem with a capital M. But it's the same entry oval, and I have a habit relatively often of pulling this line a little too straight in the middle, not getting this nice lower curve here, transitioning into upper curve here. So like this is ideally what I always want. That's what I would consider pretty spot on, but I was thinking about other parts of this design at that point on this lower one, so it's just, I gotta think of everything all at once. What's the name of that movie? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once? That's what I have to think about. That is the key to mastering ornamental penmanship. You have to be able to think and do everything, everywhere, all at once. Impossible. I guess impossible to do everything, yes. But when it comes to a design, if I can think about every aspect of this design all at once, which to me, thinking about it all at once is kind of the same as training my muscles to sort of shape it and get it internalized and then not thinking of it at all, is if I know it well enough, then I can not think of it at all, and my body will think of it all at once. Does that make any sense at all? That probably doesn't make any sense at all. But I feel like that's how I sort of treat this stuff. Like right now I'm thinking about finishing that lower loop, keeping this round, keeping this... I gotta focus on going up to the left when I do this stroke so I don't cut it off and get this little flat top there. And then I go down here and make sure this is compound curved enough so that this crossing, and it doesn't end up being too high. That's what I'm thinking of now, all those little aspects. But it feels, it's not impossible, because it can be done, but it feels like way too much to actually try to execute a design while thinking of all those things. So for me, the first step is continually reminding myself, and then all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but then once I get used to it, my body knows it, and then I can think about it all at once without thinking about it. This one is heckin' hard. Really, man? I feel like this one's gotta be one of the easier ones of the series so far. I feel like. I could be wrong, but I feel like. Are you all caught up now, Fozzie? I'm curious. Mic drop does it on the... I wish. Well, here, let's see. We'll do the entire signature. I'm gonna do it all in one go, so I'm gonna do with whole arm, take my forearm off the table. This will probably not work, but we're gonna do the entire thing, at least the capital letters. Whoops, not supposed to be a shade there. We got some work to do. Chalk tube. Brian uses his pinky knuckle as a forward rest. The middle, so... This one? Like the bit, his main knuckle? Or this one, you mean? Yep. The main one. Definite, well, I won't say that that's definitely bad. I will say I definitely do not drop that one on the table. I would say at most when I'm doing ornamental penmanship, I'm not really on the fingernail that often. I'm pretty much this first pad, like from the first knuckle to the tip. Cause it curves underneath and then I'm kind of right there. I definitely don't, it feels weird for me to get this knuckle, my main pinky knuckle, all the way to the table. In grosser script or something, or slower Spencerian, 100% I would. Because I would use more of a traditional, or more of a modern grip for that, but... No, yeah, I'm right. All there. Hey Annie, how's it going? You can see it's shiny. It gets burnished. Polish the end of my finger. Yeah, I don't use fingernails. I guess fingernails more so if I do business penmanship and whatnot. If I'm using that type of a grip with a straight pen, then I'll be a little more, I think, fingernails. But with ornamental penmanship, it feels like that first knuckle, I won't say rests, but basically that's my forward rest. I would assume, or I would say. How have I been? I've been quite well, thank you. Busy. Always playing catch-up, feels like. But it's a good thing to be busy. I'm trying to iron out, I know I've talked about this for feels like years now, trying to iron out the replacing of this shelving unit. It was supposed to be gone a long time ago. I have some of the parts and pieces to make what's gonna go back there, but I need access to a shop, a wood shop, and somebody who can help me use said machinery or said equipment, tools and such that I cannot fit and don't have in my apartment. The problem is the size of the boards, because they're 10 feet long. I can't fit those in my vehicle. What I might have to do is rent a vehicle, take it to a buddy of mine's place who has the equipment, build it there, and then bring it finished back here. And I'm actually thinking now if it can even fit in the front door, I might have to bring it up the balcony to get it in the apartment. But yeah, not super deep, just about 2 feet, maybe a little bit less than 2 feet deep, and then it's gonna be 10 feet long. through the balcony. Or there's a hall. I mean, I have a hallway. We can figure it out somehow. Worst case, balcony's easy enough. My balcony is right above the entrance to the garage, so it's super easy. If somebody needs to, like during COVID, if I got something from a friend or I was borrowing something, they would just come and just chuck it up to me on the balcony. It was super easy. So that's probably what we'll have to do with the desk. And then this week I've been, because I'm getting close, like I'm chomping at the bit. It has to get done. And I had a buddy came over and he was sort of giving me a hard time, in a good way, for not getting it done yet, because it's been like the top of my to-do list for years, and I feel like it's stopping me from doing a lot of the other things I want to do, because it's just taking up too much mental energy. So I think I also want to paint the wall. I know I live in an apartment. Don't tell my I want to paint the wall like a super, super, super deep, like navy blue, dark gray color back there. And then it'd just be so cool. I need to get it done. It's been on the to-do list for way, way, way too long. Here, just check. Exactly, just check it up. I mean, if somebody holds it at the... Yeah. It won't be that hard. It's no... I mean, it's easier than hauling like a couch or something like that in. What up, Peter? Good evening. Yeah, so it'll be the 10-foot by like 2-foot or whatever base, and then how many shelves? 1, 2, 3. I think 4 shelves that go up the wall, 2 of which are also 10 feet long, and then the other 2 are broken up into sections. So they're much shorter, much easier to handle, but... And then they'll be going with that, building that. There's also, I want a wood carving station that I want this building on the other side, and then a console table that'll go right in front of my desk here. And then just a lot of things that have been on the to-do list with this one project for a long time that I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm sick of them not being done. It's my own fault that they're not done. So I need to free up that mental energy and get them finished so I can focus on other exciting things that I want to focus on. Shade got a little wonky, but I like that H. Now, one thing I will say, I know we're replicating these signatures as close as possible, but I will say one thing that I'm not doing exactly like Kanan in this instance, and is this specific shape of this oval right here. I like the curve here, but this goes up a little too far for me to make this shape look a little weird. So I am gonna try to smooth that out just a little bit. Sorry, Kanan, if that was intentional. Feel free to be mad at me, that's okay. Also, as always, challenging myself to write relatively small as well, so I'm not making it all super huge. The end goal is to be able to do all of these on a business card and have some good control of them. Okay, he definitely keeps this curved, and I do not. I bring this down pretty much straight to the baseline. I'm gonna have to break that habit for today. Shaded by accident. I got that kind of abrupt shape. I guess that does kind of just happen. Gotta be careful. That's the one. A little too janky in there, but got a good compound curve on that little bit. Key to making the C exit stroke look better is to drop that lower. I'm gonna have to remember to do that. But that's the idea. Okay. I am not nervous about the transition into the G at all. That whole double loop thing, my loops aren't nearly long enough yet and whatnot, but that I don't find intimidating at all. That feels very natural for me. With the exception of obviously my G isn't shaped like his yet, but the feeling of it. The mazed out G. Yeah, I like the mazed out G. I'm a fan of the mazed out G. I gotta make mine. It looks so tiny compared to the H. So I gotta get this lower. That's a big thing. And these just have to be longer, really? Longer, this one specifically longer on the way back down so that it drops lower and comes back up. Okay, doable. A drunk G. This G is all kinds of inebriated, stumbling around the apartment. Just lost fluidity, but that's the idea. Why does he come up? You hate the whip, Marilyn? You mean the little shade at the end? Or do you mean the, is this what you're talking, the whip? This is the whip? Ah, see what I was saying? It's the, yeah, it's how far, naturally, how far I travel to the right, making that oval. I have to bring that up way sooner than I want. So it goes farther to the right. And then that way it can cut through. Right there, and then come in. Yeah. Whoa, okay. It's an interesting shape. It's one that you don't see used very often, but every once in a while. I've used it a couple times in designs. I mentioned this in a comment on Instagram. That Gray asked, which Gray's not here, but it's Gray's birthday. Happy birthday, Gray. If you were here, Gray, we would wish you a happy birthday. We're not here, so we're gonna wish you a happy birthday anyway. But I think it was response to his comment about that connection where I have seen it, but not a lot. I've used it a couple times when I can't think of any other options that I like better. I believe it's Gray's birthday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was David. I saw made a post about that. $39. A young buck. Yeah, it would make sense that he'd be asleep now. Here, first all the way through the signature. Obviously, she shades are not correct, but that's okay. We'll work on that. Okay. And as I thought, like, even this amount of space isn't crazy, but it's a lot more than what he has. He has more space between his first H and G, though, which I might have to do, so that it's not quite as normal. Normal? No, so that it's not quite as noticeable, is the words I was looking for there. This is big. Too big. Again, C shades are all wrong, but that's the whole flow, or the whole getting through the signature. Tea. Drink your tea, Mike, before it gets cold. It's Google's birthday too? Wait, Otis Winnie, for you it's tomorrow though, right? Is it not? Your today is my tomorrow? You're living in the future. Okay, that my age is too far apart, but 27. Yeah, tomorrow's Google's birthday. Oh, maybe I need to for my class. Is there a Google song? Maybe I need to teach my tab class to a Google song. Is there a Google song? There must be a Google song out there somewhere. Just Google it. Just Google it. When you need a question answered and you don't have the answer, just Google it. That had a nicer flow in my brain. Pretend it didn't happen. Stick to writing, Mike. Okay. Sounds good, Fuzzy. Have fun. We will see you later. If we're still here. Going too slow. Too many hitches in movement. Not fluid enough. One thing, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the stream before. Oftentimes you will hear me say, like, oh, needs to be faster, needs to be smoother, things like that. Fascinatingly, one of the easiest things that I always forget to do that improve fluidity and smooth flow, like every single time. It was the reason, like, the forms aren't perfect, but this doesn't feel nearly as smooth or light as the second one. But the arm movement didn't feel much different to me while writing. The biggest difference was 100% in this one, the grip. I relaxed my fingers. They weren't trying to control the pen. I let go. And when you do that, if you relax your grip, it feels counterintuitive. It feels like it's not gonna do what you want it to do. But I swear, if you relax your grip, and again, this is something I forget to do all the time. If you relax your grip, it helps make everything more fluid. Because even if your arm is fluid, if your hand is tense, it's like the lines don't come out as smooth and as nice. There are many parallels between penmanship and the Force, Peter. We should make a short... Oh, see, that's... You know, Michael Sull has his poems and stories, like the Principality Kid and Johnny DeCall and all those. I should write one. I need to write a poem story based on Star Wars / penmanship lore, maybe. Maybe that'll be my contribution to the poetic penmanship world. I'm not a poet. Okay, that's the first one that has the right little bit longer here, which is good. This little stroke. That's all that needed. The flow, again, all the hairlines look super flowy. The fact that I forget that so often is annoying. Midweek holiday tomorrow, Annie. That's exciting. Congratulations. What are you gonna do for your midweek holiday? Sheet of paper number 2. Why is this paper not flat today? Did the printer do something weird to it? I wonder. Stop paying attention. I lost my ovalness there. Get a little more abrupt there. Then this has to be smoother. Nice and round. We got that part. We remembered, accidentally added an accent shade, but I'm not mad at that. Accent shades are pretty, so long as they stay fluid, I don't mind. No, I do not. That's a good question. Am I using little finger movement? I don't use little finger movement, not because I think it's bad, but because it just feels really weird. I have tried countless times. I've had this discussion with a few people on the stream before, because I like the idea of it. I agree with why, like, when Zayner talks about it, but it... Wait, we might be talking about little different things. Are you referring to finger movement where your pinky finger is somewhat planted and you're using it to move around? Or are you talking about this? I'm now mistaking. What? Because there's, I guess, what do they call that? Pinky pivot, I suppose some people refer to it as. Not in the old books, but in modern day. So there's, with those two things, Zayner would say that similar to how we use our forearm and we stretch to all the letters, they would sort of do a similar thing where the pinky would sort of rest and then you would sort of move around it, but that feels really weird to me. So I don't use that movement personally. I keep trying to practice it, but it has never stopped feeling weird to me. But as far as finger movement, for my capital letters, the only movement, I feel like there might be some subconscious little things that come in there, but the only movement I'm really doing is the slight grip when I'm doing my when I'm putting the shades in. For the movement and the getting around the entire design, I'm not stretching my fingers or moving my hand really at all. I tried to use my fingers as little as possible on that one, and I forgot to make a shade on the C stroke. Whoops. Everything else is nice and smooth, though. For lowercase letters, I do use a little bit of fingers, but one thing I will say about my own finger movement, my fingers are rarely, they're not doing the majority of the work. The majority of the work is coming from the hand, and the fingers are sort of helping out as I'm going, I think, if that makes sense. The goal, I try to not use fingers, but I don't stop my fingers from lending a helping hand on their own from time to time. And I personally feel like that's kind of the right way, because I find that if I train using my fingers, so if I train finger movement, then I end up somewhat relying too much on just the fingers and not on a fluid bit of movement. So combination movement, I would say, is what I use then for my lowercase letters. I would love to say I use all fingers, but you can watch me do lowercase letters. My fingers are definitely doing things, but it's not super intentional, if that. Oh, I made that too low. Ah, that's good, Annie. That's not where that's supposed to go. Okay. You know what I just realized? If I used that G to the H connection, because I never used this G in my own signature, but if I were to do something like how to make better letter forms, but that works for my own signature a little bit. because I like this G, but I never end up using it in my own signature because I don't like going into the W from it. Gray could use it as well, I guess. Wait. Yeah. W.G. Harris. G into the H. Same stem. If he wants to do a stem variation, or he could just use the exact same one that Kanan used. Okay, it's probably the best run through of the entire thing so far. I forgot that my shades are supposed to look like Kanan's and not my own, but that's the idea. No real exit stroke on this signature, so it's just really a 1/2 design versus the ones we've been doing the past couple weeks. It's been, or specifically last week's. Some of the earlier ones had pretty complicated exit strokes. Okay, not too big. That's even a better one, I think. Oh, awesome, Peter. Where'd you meet? Was there a pen show? Or did you mail her a pen? I'm very glad they were able to fix your pen for you. They do very, very good work, in my opinion. There's a mini one. Oh, dope. That's cool. Well, awesome. I'm glad. Is the pen like a family heirloom type of pen? Or why would you say it's precious to you? If you don't mind my asking. Okay, we got the down low part. And we gotta get that going back to there. Make that G a little wider. Oh, then that isn't a very precious pen indeed. Amazing. Well, I'm glad it's in better working order. What did you have done to it? Was it broken or just not writing the way you wanted? What did they do for you? or for it. Forgot to go lower, Mike. You forgot to go lower. Ah, you dropped it, so it's a little bent. Well, that's good. I'm glad it is fixed now. And can be written with once again. Whoa, crazy shapes. Go lower, go lower, go lower, go lower. Okay, not perfect form, but that's the idea, dropping it lower. Yeah, I got a little crazy there. Gotta keep this up so that it doesn't drop super low. More so like that, okay. Okay. Slowed down a little bit, but not bad. That's a good one. That top shade, you mean on the C? Or what I call the C? I call it a C shade, but for the second stroke of the H. Oh, mental model. My mental model is, come on! It's a shade that I never really get right. So for this particular way that it's written, as you can see, for the most part, you can see it in my previous attempts here. I quite often will get this curve before I start adding the shade, or I'll get the shade coming in right as I'm a little bit too round, versus Kanan has more of this type of a thing. It's not exactly right, but more of this like point up here. It's not actually a point, but it almost comes to a point, and then the shade starts like immediately right at that point top bit. So it's almost like I have found, I did one today, only one, that top part felt like it was supposed to, essentially, if I can find it. Where is it? Here. So here, there are two here that look relatively decent when it comes to that. So there's this one here, and that's kind of when I realized it, and then I tried to do it again here, And it's essentially, the issue with these ones is the entry stroke doesn't come low enough, so I don't have enough space in there. But it's, for this, what happened here that made it look right, maybe it was this one, and then that's when I was trying to replicate it. It's like a fraction of a pause, not a stop, but almost like a, so not an ascender loop. If I do an ascender loop, because of the movement that I have when I'm doing it, this is nothing I say is the right way or the wrong way, because I genuinely don't know what's best. But if I'm doing an ascender loop, like there's absolutely no change of movement, change of motion up at the top. So I find that when I try to do that shade with my ascender stroke movement, which is what's normal for me if I'm doing a capital C, I'll do that, but then what happens is by the time I add my shade, I'm a fraction too late. I catch it like right here is when I start adding the shade instead of adding it right up at the top. So I think for this C, and I'll be honest, I completely forgot about it. Forgot that it happened on that page till you mentioned just that shade in particular, because I've been focusing on other bits of it. But with that small little, I don't know, call it checking your movement, small little, it's not a slowdown, but it's like just a quick pause up at the top. So instead of, like, my natural inclination would be this would be sort of something I think about. That's a flow. Well, just if I was doing a C, that's a flow. And then that's a flow. And then that's a flow in like 3 different pieces. 1, 2, 3. So this feels like an ascender, this feels like an oval, and this feels like an oval. But I think that is flawed. I don't think that's the best way to think about it. I think for the C to get that shade, it's almost like this. So this is sort of, this first half of this oval is something I'm thinking about. And then from here to here is something I'm thinking about. And if I do that, that helps me fix, again, not doing it in a lot of these examples, but that helps me fix this where I go up too quickly versus getting a nice undercurve up to that little top part. So this is 1, this is 2, and then this is 3, and then going into 4, the exit stroke. So they're not actually stopping on all those, but adding that little something right there, separation of this and this instead of this, is, I think, what is required to get that shade looking like Kanan. And then keeping it unnaturally short, which is a challenge. Desirable shade. It swells to a wide point and then immediately... Yes, I agree with that 100%. That's sort of ornamental penmanship in general. That's where it differs the most from like a script like Engrosser script or English Roundhand or something, is the shades ideally should never maintain... Well, I guess there's 2 sort of ideas that come together into mean get there and get out of it really quickly, is the shades are never supposed to maintain a width, so they're always tapering into a shade and tapering out of a shade. So that's number 1. They're never holding a thin line, they're never getting to a shade and then holding it. So then when you take that principle and then you combine that with the idea that we always want our shades to be, as the old books say, short and snappy. When you combine short and snappy with always tapering, you get this quick in, quick out. And one of the best examples of it, obviously, Kanan's work are genuinely some of the best examples of it, because I feel like his shades are shorter and snappier than basically anybody's. And where one of the strokes where that's most visible is when he does like a V, when he has something like this, and they go, like, he'll come down and immediately come out of it. Or you see it He'll do, if that's his stem, if he has like a capital R or something that comes after that, then he's going around here, and this R will come around, and then somehow this downstroke gets the same thickness as his stem shades, but ends before the baseline, so it's going like that, like crazy short and snappy, immediate in and immediate out, in like fractions of seconds, and there's likely exercises that we can do, or like a specific drill that we can do to train that snap, because it's the snap of, it's as we're pulling. I mean, we're coming down pretty quickly, so it's that the shade action has to be so fast in order to get this, because if you slow down, as we all know, we're gonna lose the fluidity that we're looking for. So the only way, there's two ways. One is to train that finger action to be like, bah, duh, bah, super quick, in and out, or to do it in hairline and draw it in later, which there's a good chance that some of Kanan's stuff is done that way, because, I mean, these are printed, so we don't know, but as always, we want to imagine that they did it this way, because why not shoot for the best possible outcome? So I guess it's the training of that snappy reaction, which every time I do one of these signatures, I'm sort of toying at it, but it's not dedicated practice in getting that snappy quick shade, which I feel like if I buckled down and did that, it would be very beneficial, I think. I would think about it less triangular. Some of my favorite shades, like if we take, again, the capital C, for example, like, I really like the look of Kanan's. The cool thing about Kanan's is, like, for the C, for example, I mean, I know it's an H in today's example, but it's the same as a C, so I'm just calling it a C. If we have this shape, the cool thing about Kanan's that doesn't work with a lot of other penman's capital letters, I think, without the shade, if you remove the left side of that shade, the interior line creates this, it's still a beautiful flowing shape, without the shade. Whereas when other penmen would bring it longer, if you erased half of the shade, because with Kanan's, the shade is primarily on the outside, so it's primarily going out here. Whereas with other penmen, if they don't have it going primarily outside, if it's more in the middle, if you erase the inside of the shade, it looks weird. If you erase the outside of the shade, it looks weird. Your inside line doesn't still create this beautiful flow. And where I think we struggle with is when we try to do this letter, if we get that beautiful flow on the inside, the outside ends up being too long in order for there to not be a transition point. You can see here, sorry, I'm getting all messy here. If you come around and then I hit back to the line, so I have my bubble on the left side of my interior downstroke, but then if I match that down, I have this like shape, this like wobble shape. The shade isn't coming in, and the outside and the inside aren't both making a beautiful transition, which is much easier if a penman were to do all the way down, like if that was their inside and their outside went all the way down, like a little bit farther, and finished before the baseline. That gives them an extra quarter space to even out that transition. Kanan was able to do it way up here. His were, I feel like, easily higher than anybody else's. And it's just, to me, it's like magic. it's incredible. The balance that is required to get both of those looking smooth transition. Like if we if we were to just really look at if this was not shaded at all, and we were just looking at this inside line going super smooth, it's a beautiful transition into the exit stroke. But the outside line is also a beautiful, smooth transition into the exit stroke. But somehow, he cuts it off so sharp. Which is, I mean, I think that's the reason why his signatures go lower, or not his signatures, this stroke goes lower than some other ones, because some other ones would be starting their transition right here. To go into their exit oval, they'd be curving horizontal quicker, which makes the outside line look good, but then the inside line looks a little, it has this like sharpness. So that's, Kanan's C's are my favorite for that reason. I don't know if any of that made sense. But I guess one of the things that I started that whole, not a rant, but that whole sort of mind journey to talk about was the versions of, not necessarily the capital C, but we can probably use the capital C as an example as well, where we have the form transitioning into our exit oval, and the inside line is not a smooth flow like Kanan's, but is essentially a straight line. That happens, and like it doesn't work as much with the C because we don't have the smooth transition in this instance anyways. But if we take like an O, if that's our oval shape, some penmen will have the shade on the outside bubbling out all nice, and the inside is literally just like a straight line, like just straight along this slant line. And then obviously it tapers on both sides. Like Mataraz was really great at this, where the inside of some of his shades are just straight lines, and the whole shade is getting pushed out to the outside. And I mean that's equally as cool. It's just a different amount of snappiness and control in the shades. Sounds good, Peter. Have a good night. Yeah, I find it all very fascinating. Because, like, form-wise, like, Lupfer's my favorite penman, form-wise, but when it comes to the capital C, there's something about Kanan's capital C that it's like magic to me. It feels like magic. It feels like those lines shouldn't be able to do that and both be smooth. Because I feel like the majority of penmen, if you erase one or the other inside-outside, one of them's gonna look weird. But Kanan's don't. And I think that's because he's able to get, well, brings it longer, and he's able to get that, the shade is super, super snappy. I hope some of that made sense. I need to think about that now. Some exercises to train the snappiness. I guess the one that exercise is one that is trainable to get that quick snap, 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 snap. To get, if you have this type of movement and you try to add those shades super quick, I guess that would definitely help. But yeah, I think dedicated training to the snap of the shade is something I assume we don't do enough of. And I think, I mean, for me, I can speak for me personally, we rarely have a little, like on this stroke, this would be equated to like a capital S or a capital L. And we rarely shade this bit of the capital S or the capital L. So I think when you see this, I think of it as, or I would always think of this as like a movement drill, specifically to get the shape of the S, to get that shape. But doing it with the shade, less about the shape and more about that's training the snappiness of the fingers. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Why is it people saying bye to Ojaswini? No, Peter's saying bye because he's leaving. Ojaswini's not going anywhere. She has to stay here until I cut the stream off so she can complain that it's too early. Even if it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, it'll be too soon. Whoa, not smooth. Let's smooth that out, shall we? Whoops. See, like there's fully forgot about, I mean, that C was just a complete autopilot C. You can see where that oval's going way out that direction instead of up there where I need it to go. I can't get the flow of that at all right now. Why? What's happening to me? Go from the top. So that's kind of the idea. That point up at the top, short shade, cut it off there. Closer. You don't need coffee, you need more sleep. Okay, why is the angle of my C so weird? Fix it. Thinking too much now. Lose fluidity when my brain works too much. As I tell my TAP students, now shut your brain off and let it happen. Better. T. I figure one more page with this signature, and then I think I'm gonna dive into a scrapbook. If that's okay with everybody. How'd you guys feel about scrapbook editing last week? Glad that it helped get that scrapbook done. If you weren't here in the beginning of the stream, last week, for part of the stream, I was editing a scrapbook. If you're interested in seeing what that scrapbook was, it has been added to my website. If you go to MrMGWard.com, in the archive, there is a vintage scrapbook section, and you can see what I compiled there. Where? I'm not even on a baseline at all. What am I? I'm dreaming. I'm not paying attention to anything right now. The forms were nice, but I had no target other than I was just floating. Yes, my brain did turn off. Just a little bit too much, maybe. Is that first sheet of the day dry? Turn that upside down, save some paper. Save some paper. I like saving paper. Ah, you're very welcome. There are also those two of the scrapbooks from Scranton. The Sewell scrapbook and the Mataraz scrapbook are both there as well. For your viewing pleasure. Sounds good, Marilyn. Sweet dreams. We will see you next week. Thank you very much, Marilyn. I appreciate that. Gotta make this one. Gotta get that. See, because it's interesting, because I'm trying to not do my C's with that, what I said, like the ascender movement, but the top of that G, I want to use the movement of an ascender stroke, so it's nice and long. The issue I run into, because it's all in one movement, I'm getting to the, I'm maxing out my movement on my forearm, so I gotta take that into account a little bit more when I'm prepping where I place my forearm so I can reach the whole thing. That might have been a little too long. Whoops, not supposed to be a shade there. Oh, awesome, Annie. That's great. I think that's one of the best things that like any penman can do. I think we all have to do it because it's great. I've never compiled my own work before on my own bookshelf. I don't have a scrapbook of my own work, with the exception of, and I'm glad that I finally did it, and I want to do it more. For the IAMPA silent auction, I donated a mini scrapbook of my work, and that was super fun and cool putting together my own pieces. And when it was all finished, the work looks cool when it's all in like a binder. The work looks better than when it's just in scrap pieces of paper. I was very happy that I did it. Now I need to find the time to... I have a folder full of pages that I want to cut and put into scrapbook form. And also I want to write other penmen and get and request samples and send samples and things like that to put other people's work in a scrapbook as well. I feel like we should be doing more of that, I think. In our modern penman world. Whoops. It was fun. I hope to. Was doing it for the convention really made me want to do more of them. The best part about it is it's great practice. All tight in there a lot of the time. Every time I come around into this beginning of this H, I have to fight not making a stem shade. Because obviously my favorite entry, I don't know if it's obvious or not, but I use it all the time, is this one. Into that stem shade. Which is not terribly different. Obviously there's an extra loop there, but from what we're doing here. So it's the desire to make that stem shade there every time I do this H is real. I gotta hold it back. Let's try to do a full one with the lowercase letters and everything, shall we? We haven't done that yet. The ending's pretty similar, or pretty chill on this one. Okay, lowercase letters quite condensed. Hennager. And the A is bisected, if we can get it there, by that exit stroke. Nope. Didn't leave myself quite enough room. little exit stroke. Yeah, my lowercase letters take up way more horizontal space than his. I need to condense those. Easier if I were to do the whole thing bigger, but I'm gonna have to do my lowercase a little more condensed. Compound curve, little oval, big oval. It's a weird. It's not the right shape. That's better. That's the one. That's what we want. Sweet. It's like a capital B. I would definitely use that if I had a B in my name. So simple. Maybe that's his real name. Maybe his name is H.G. Hennager. You think? H.G. Hennager? Hennager. Sup, Hennager? His friends called him Gerb. Shut up, Mike. Just be quiet. Hennager. Just gotta go a little bit farther to there. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to filming this one because I feel like it's gonna come out relatively nice. I'm not mad at really any of these attempts. They could be closer to the original and a little bit cleaner, obviously, but I'm not mad at it. Stage not quite as smooth. No, I should dip after I do the G, I suppose. Unless I write small, it's a little bit too tough to get all the way through with one dip. Dip. Good movement coming out there. Ooh. Got a little all over the place. These dotted lines, or my lines get dotted every once in a while. I don't know if they're showing up on camera because, as some of you probably know, ink doesn't like laying over top of laser jet printed lines. And every once in a while, I see these little dots, and it makes it look like my pen like skipped or something. Or like, you know, when they do the chalkboards, and they get the little lines. It looks like I did that every once in a while. And I have to keep reminding myself as I'm writing that to just ignore it and focus on what I'm doing. Easier said than done, I suppose. Highly distractible. Hennager. It's not too shabby. Let's try that one more time. Then we're gonna call it an end to this portion of the writing session, and we'll dive into a scrapbook, I think. All right, last attempt here. We're gonna do it down here in the middle. Why not? Last attempt. Relax. That last H, not the one. Finish it off anyways, though. I'm writing with an empty breather hole. That's a bad idea. Don't do that if it can be avoided. If you see air in the breather hole of your nib, dip, 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 dip. Hennager. That C is, or that last H is wackadoo, way too much space in there, but I like that last ending stroke. That's what I want that to look like. His little loop is horizontal and mine is angled down. Need to work on that, but this is a fun one. I should be able to film a decent version of this tomorrow after my tap class, I think. I think. Open up a program while I clean my nib. And we'll dive into a scrapbook. Hopefully the setting changes that I made will help my computer handle editing whilst streaming as well. Fingers crossed. We will see. Okay, nib is clean. Very important. Let's turn the ink stirrer off so I don't accidentally spill it like I have done in the past. Not today, ink. Not today. This off to the side. Grab my wireless keyboard because that makes everything a whole lot easier. Down there. Okay. You don't need to see my keyboard, so let's turn this on. Bam. Turn this off. Bam. You don't need to see my face so big, so let's turn my face smaller. Sweet. Okay. So, like I said, last week we finished editing what I'm calling Neil McCaffrey scrapbook number 1. We finished editing the first of Neil's scrapbooks. Now we're gonna do the second one. And it's a nice one. Oh. Turn off my preview here so it's less taxing on the computer. We'll see. It's probably gonna be choppier than just my regular camera, but hopefully not too much. I tell you, penmen back in the day could not cut in a straight 90-degree line to their work at all. It's almost, yeah, their stuff is just slightly off square. Always. Always. Now, this is from, this is John DeColobus, is it not? Can't read what that says up at the top. Is this John DeColobus? I think I'll leave the rendering of his grocer script to John, Joe, or Daniel. Oh. Oh, is this Michael Saul? Who was this? Esther Book 357. I don't know who wrote this. Oh well, doesn't matter. I'll figure it out later. The only non-vintage specimen in this scrapbook from this binder. Daniel T. Ames, man. Not Ames, sorry, W.E. Dennis. I don't know why I said Ames. Apologies. I would love to have a conversation with Dennis. Like, just out of control. We have no trouble with ink for lettering because we use stick ink and grind it ourselves. That's the only ink I like. That's the only ink I take any stock in. Got you. Jeez. This is Daniel T. Ames. No, why do I keep saying Daniel T. Ames? Sorry, no, this is W.E. Dennis. An incredible engrosser, and his writing is just absolutely wacky. Always. Like, these are his envelopes from him, and they're just out of control. He had to have been just a character. So awesome. Oh, I got a railroad? Who cares? Oh yeah, we just finished. I feel you, Brian. I like stick ink, and I actually really like the grinding process. For me, though, I don't know what, I don't know what's a good stick. Like, do you, Brian, David, Fozzie, anybody in here? I need a specific, like, brand suggestion for a stick ink. Oh, I already did this one. Go me. Like, this looks like it was it's like brush pen. It's like a quill. I love this, though. Filled in, giant shaded P. He's just a Looney Tune, and it's awesome. His writing makes me so happy. I think if any penman today were to take like a good swing at his writing and replicate it, I feel like James Faz Farrell would be the one that I imagine could replicate Dennis's writing the best, just because of his ability to just go and like make a mess. I famously can't make messes. I'm not good at it. I'm bad at dripping ink and splashing and like doing when people do writing with ruling pens that splash. Can't do it. I'm not good at making a mess. He was a absolutely brilliant engrosser and a very good penman as well. But his writing was just wackadoo. Look at that! I love it. It's so fun. $300. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a bit too rich for my blood for a stick. I would love to find a good stick ink though, because I do really like grinding it. I enjoy the process of grinding it. I like my inkstone. I don't want to waste my time. Like, I have one that's decent, but I have another one that I spent a lot of time grinding, and it just always stayed like a really, really light gray, no matter how thick I made it, or how... He just wrote... Wait, no, this doesn't go this way. This does go this way, because he wrote... Greatest show on this planet. Not yet. Cheapers. Your inkstone feels waxy? That's interesting. Mine is definitely a stone. All of mine are stones. I have 5 inkstones, and they're all very stony. I liked when Dennis did this, when he did his backhanded script. But that's written with like it's a double nib. Just a character. And then look at that little guy. How fun is that? Little goblin thing. This, I feel like I said, I think Faz Farrell would be the most able to like replicate this writing because of just the attack. But I've always thought that Dennis was just Skylar. Skylar just draw a little quick offhand like cherub in the top of something. What kind of an animal is it? I feel like it's a bat, but I don't know. Oh, wait. Toggle moderation activity. It didn't show me the canceled link. David, try to post it again. Kevin Williams. I don't know Kevin Williams. Mohammed was really good at, like, again, thorough things to look for when it comes to stick ink and whatnot. but not a specific brand or whatnot. No, I'm not. Okay, I just clicked it and it said moderation activity will be shown. But your links aren't posting anywhere. Sorry. I can't moderate your link because it's not showing me. Apologize. My apologies to you. I went in all the YouTube settings the other day to make sure, or to try to get rid of it, or to stop it from doing that. Because it used to ask me to approve things. And I don't mind it asking me to approve things. I can approve or deny bad words and things like that. But now it auto-moderates without telling me. But auto-moderation is turned off. That's pretty. A.W. Dakin. He was one of the best card carvers. This is a very light hand. From CC Kanan. Oh, and how cool is it? 3 completely different C's. You do? That's cool. Yeah, Dakin was one of the ones who submitted card carving lessons to the business educator all the time. He was like one of, F.A. Krupp was the other one. They were the 2 main card carvers. Ah, that's sick. I love this lettering right here as well. Such a fine letter. Whoops. Rotated that the wrong way. There we go. Cool. My penmanship, ornate style. Right on. That's a cool connection too. It's almost like another G though. GGG, cool. Sweet. Two seconds. Thank you for sharing that link, David. I will check that out afterwards. Okay, now this one, I think I'm going to... Here, we'll... 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do this in... It's gonna be 6 different images, I think. Fields. We'll create a copy of this. We'll put the copy over here. Slight rotation. virtual copy. Whoa! Wrong button. I don't remember ever hearing this song before in this playlist. With the little squish sound in it. This one's crooked and smaller than the others. For some reason. Sounds good, Fozzie. Sorry if you're still here. Thank you for hanging out. We will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Frank Miller. These are nice as well. Need a quick key for creating virtual copies. I don't know if there is one. Anybody in the chat super familiar with Lightroom and know a quick key for creating a virtual copy? I guess I could probably set a macro, but not right now. E.A. Lupfer from the Pierce School. They did good correspondence lessons at the Pierce School. I believe. Collins. Love me some R.S. Collins signature. I am a fan. I recommend anybody that has an S as their middle name to endeavor to create a version, whether it's the version you use all the time or not, doesn't matter. But try to make a version with the long S in the middle, because it just looks so cool all the time. S or J. Signatures with J's in the middle also look awesome. That straight? Yeah, it's following the baseline-ish. Not cut very straight, Collins. Blanchard? I like that. H with the shade just on the bottom. Oh, that's a beautiful Q. Never done it with a loop like that. I like that. Nice. Four virtual copies of this one. Just because somebody's probably wondering why I don't just leave these all as one page. The reason I like to separate them into individual images is because in my ideal world brain, I haven't done this yet, but ideally, in a perfect world, I will one day have the time to add data to each image with the penman and, in a perfect world, the penman and the year that penman wrote it, which we don't know that information all the time, but and then awesome, and then a database of every penman's piece, so it wouldn't be broken up by scrapbook like it is now. It could be broken up by what is happening? Go, please. Yeah, it'd be broken up by, you could separate it by however you wanted. So ideally, if you wanted to look at alphabets, they could filter it by alphabets. Or if you wanted to look at just Kanan's work, you could look at his work regardless of if it's in Iampith Scrapbook 2 or all of the scrapbooks. They would all sort of be just in more of an image archive, more so than a scrapbook archive. That's what I hope to have on my computer one day. Will that ever happen? Who knows? So nice and fine. But that is the dream. And also, not all the pieces are always straight on every page, and I like the reference material to be as straight as possible. So, individual images it is. Takes a little bit more work, but that's okay. Just another heads up, the images, I don't know how they translate onto YouTube. The images aren't quite as crisp and clear today as they were last time we did this. And the reason for that is I'm using what's called a smart preview in Lightroom today, in hopes of making it a little bit less computer intense, so that my computer can not have render lag and whatnot. Yeah. So unfortunately the image, I think they're clear enough to see. The originals and what they will be when they're exported will be slightly crisper and a little more high quality than what we're seeing today. I didn't realize editing photos would be so taxing on my computer. I don't feel like it should be. Good question, Oja Swinny. My next Mont Blanc session, part 2 of our funchal, or casual unchal, or as some people like to call it, myself included, ghetto unchal. That lesson will be October 10th, is our next installment, where we'll finish off the alphabet. Mataraz! Ooh! This is not pristine Mataraz. Ghetto funchal. Mataraz at about 18. That's awesome. Young Boy Wonder Mataraz. That's a gem of a piece right there. Ooh, these are pretty. Straighten that baseline, shall we? Oh, the page is so crooked for the baseline to be straight. Is that right? Is that how I want that to be? Maybe not. That's maybe a little too... I mean, he wrote it at a crazy angle. We'll split the difference on that one. Unless it's like flat, slightly above that, flat, slightly above that, flat on 3 different baselines. Maybe that's how he did it. Interesting. Sure. I'm not super familiar with this penman's work. Krieger? Attend the College of Business Knowledge. Yeah, he did it again on this one. The ornamental penmanship baseline, wait, goes up every one. Is that intentional? That's interesting. Another Hool piece? No, a Kelchner piece. Writing to Hool. Kelchner. Sounds good, David. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you later. And thank you again for sharing that link. Sorry that it couldn't be in the chat here. I will do more looking into figuring out why that is a thing, why it won't let me do that. These are nice. These are nice cards. Kelchner. Want to be on his Christmas card list, I imagine. send Christmas cards this year? Will my good intentions finally get a Christmas card done? Only time will tell. But I guess if I'm gonna do it, I gotta start doing it. Those are beautiful. Cool. I like that. Fun exit from the K into the E. Whoops. This one looks printed. I gotta look at it closer. I don't know if this one is ink on paper, or is it? His name might be. This is all printed. Maybe it's all printed? Don't know. I can't remember. Whoa! Courtney! That's a beauty. J.D. Thornton. We've done a Thornton name. I wonder if it was him. We've done a Thornton signature at some point. Straight. Sternly strive to make your mark while daylight lasts, for comes the dark, the long dark night, when you must tell if you have used your daylight well. I've never heard that one before. That's very much like the Count That Day Lost poem by Longfellow. I like that one. What can you do? What can you do? It's what the world keeps asking you. With trumpet tone, and that alone. Ah, soul, if you would win, then you must show the world what you can do. Dr. Zeus. Fun. Talented man, Mr. F. B. Courtney, you were. So quick and dashy. Beautiful. I wish I had a bigger white piece of paper when I took photos of these underneath them. Oops. A work of days, a noble life is not ablaze. Of sudden glory won, but just an adding up of days, in which good work is done. Very nice. Very, very nice. Courtney, it's a good collection of Courtney's work. Some longer pieces by him, which is nice to have. Dear reader, I submit this is a specimen of my ornamental penmanship. Yours truly, Jacob Miller. Wait, this is F.B. Courtney K. Wait a minute. Jacob Miller. Interesting. Beautiful S. Absolutely stunning. What happened here? Oh, gotcha. The image isn't cut off. It was zoomed in. I got scared for a sec. I swear I wasn't drunk when I took these photos. I shouldn't have cut off any. That's a lot of bees. BB Bond & Co. Bought of BB Brint and Bro. BU Brian. BU Bran. BU Beans. Boo Brian. Boo Barley. Boo Bran. Boo Beans. BBB. BB Brint and Bro. Received payment. That's fun. That would be an incredibly difficult... Like, that as a piece? Whew. I mean, great practice. That's fun. Is this a Dennis Swan? Oh, Francis doing a swan. It's beautiful. SM Blue. Ooh. Little bit of Courtney. Being a pen wizard. These are gorgeous. Ampeth has a whole scrapbook of these cards. What does that say? That should... I don't know what that says. 1934. That doesn't... because it should say F.B. Courtney. This has to be Courtney. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Francis B. Courtney. Oh! Did somebody send that to Francis B. Courtney? Oh, now I'm confused. Confused. Was somebody replicating Courtney? Sent this to him? Oh, it's a unique script. Not your everyday ornamental penmanship on this one. Very long grocer script. I like that. The little gnomes or elves. Cute. That is an awesome happy birthday. And it's tiny too. I like that, just with the dot. Rather than a full-on like needle stitch script. Oh, so this must be him. This. What does that say? What does that even say? I have no idea. Is it congratulations from Mr. and Miss? Yeah, it has to be that. It's not to Courtney. That's saying from Francis B. Courtney on the back. Has to be. Nobody else did these cards. These are Courtney. Put my foot down. A decision has been made. I was being silly before. Well, that was glued to something. At one point. Funny, some of these scrapbooks, you look on the back, some of the paper, they'll be like this one is orange, so you can see really easily, but there'll be an orange piece, a beige piece, a white piece. They were at one point or another glued into multiple different scrapbooks over their life. Ah, nice. These are sweet cards. Yeah, this is from, and these are the year 1942. Oh, that's late. Oops. Maybe that's what I gotta do for my cards. Keep them simple. Just a simple little happy holidays. Signed, Mike Ward. Who spilled the turmeric? It was glued to, originally I believe it was glued to an orange piece of paper, and then it got cut off the orange piece of paper and was glued to a beige scrapbook, and then it was cut off of that scrapbook before it ended up in this scrapbook. I guess. I don't know who did the cutting when it moved scrapbooks, or if one of them was Courtney's and then he sold them and then somebody recompiled a binder. Who knows? Like I said, there's a lot of that with some of the old specimens, especially ones like these that are on more so cardstock than thin writing paper. Cute. So cute. Oh, I thought that said something at first in really, really tiny writing. Did he write 1945 and then do this and realized he covered it and then wrote it again? Curious. The OG Dizzy Bunny. Maybe. So sad the Dizzy Bunny was cut off last week. Could not be seen. Hey, Dizzy Bunny dates way back, man. Dizzy Bunny is the second mascot of this channel, because I feel like the first mascot just kind of has to be the Bad Pylon. So after that, then the Dizzy Bunny is the next mascot. Can we have two mascots? Sure, why not? Who's the third mascot, you ask? The Lego guy, probably. No, he's not. Oh, just Winnie. There is no twerking happening. So much character in his writing. Geez, there's a lot of these. Envelope that he used to send one of them in? Mr. A. Francis? Oh, J.A. Francis. Got you. Moderazzi student. How's the totem? What totem? Oh! This thing? The spinning top? I didn't spin it today. It's just been chilling behind me. I haven't spun it in a while, actually. Oops. A while ago, it had a really short spin, and I didn't know if something was wrong with it. And then I got distracted, and I haven't used it in a long time. I gotta test it out. I don't know if it's charged right now. Well, I can try. Try to spin it. It's out of frame, so you can't see it anyways, but... I don't know if it's turned on or if it has any battery at all. We'll see how long it spins for. Oh, another Longfellow poem. It's AM1L. Yeah. How does it charge? This micro USB, just with a cable. But at one point, I remember the last time I tried to use it, it charged and it got fully charged, but then it was acting like it was dead. So I don't know if something happened to the battery. It's going good right now, for right now anyway. It's got more wobbles than it should have though, which is concerning. It shouldn't wobble at all for like an hour. Wait, no, how long did it used to last? It should last like 3 hours? Hour and a half? I don't remember. So this is reality. Yes. This is reality. Beautiful. Short ascenders. Well, we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, I don't know that how much longer we're gonna be on tonight. It might outlast the stream tonight since I just started it, but we'll see if it gets wobbly or if it stays good. Hopefully it stays good. And getting a little bit of a break from being used in a while fixed it. That's an awesome L. Lupfer. Coast College lettering. That's sweet. Lawyer from Lawyer. Be good. This is upside down. E.A. Lupfer, the wizard penman of the Zenarian. Was Lupfer called the wizard? I thought the pen wizard was Courtney. Am I mistaken there? Or is he mistaken? Sumerian School. Dear Mr. Hoole. Beautiful. Seems to still be going strong. For now. Ah, you can know who this is by the color of the paper, or you can take a pretty good guess. This is probably H.B. Lehman. Or Lehman? I would guess. Oh, this is Brownfield. Interesting. I mean, a lot of them use the blue paper, but Lehman used it like a lot. And I have a theory that one of them... Well, never mind. Brownfield. So delicate. I like when business writing has this little bit of shade. Just very, very little bit of shade. Phil Tisdale. I believe he's the one who compiled these scrapbooks before they made their way to Neil. I think. He's not as old as most of the specimens in this book. I might change the order of it. Ah, this one's Lehman. Or Lemon. Lemon. So good. Easily one of my favorite penmen. Because his writing was so delicate. Respectfully, H.B. Lehman. Oh, it's just so good. Gibson. Unreal. Gorgeous. Wait, did I took a second picture of the same letter? I apparently really liked it. Just a close-up of just the letters. That R is stunning. There's another Lehman piece, not on blue. I wish there was more of his work out there. I'm glad there's some, luckily. Another one. Just too beautiful. Beautiful. Did I do the same thing? Did I take, or is this another letter? Trickery. Well, that's the same letter, just a second picture of it. Whoops. So it's like a practice page. Mm-hmm. Clean. Flickinger. Wait, where's the first half of the letter? This is just the ending in the PS. It's page 2. Where's page 1? Maybe we don't have page 1. Sad story. Mube? Is that S.O. Smith? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, now that's a fun W. These are precise. Whoa, where did it... What did I just do? There we go. Just for the record, everybody, it's about to be midnight, but I'm not going to go into the blacklight hour tonight. Because I think I want to... Oh no, I still have a lot of this scrapbook to go. Never mind. Alright, I'm gonna finish this page and then I'm gonna call it a night. I was hoping to get this whole scrapbook done, but there are too many pages of it to do. And I do believe I'm done writing for the evening. So I'm not gonna go into blacklight live writing. I apologize if anybody had their heart set on that. I got a busy day tomorrow, so I gotta call it a night. Beautiful. Wonder if I can time it, so as soon as I say goodbye, the lights go off. We're gonna try to do that. It might not work, but I'm gonna try. Keep an eye on the clock here. Why is this picture not square? The camera was square. This picture is super crooked. What? It doesn't make any sense. It looks like the camera shot at an angle, but that's not possible. So, Lupfer, Smith, Rough, Marks, Fun. Donner. Not many people in the chat tonight. I'm wondering if I should keep my scrapbook editing not during stream time. Maybe this isn't the most entertaining content for everybody's Tuesday. Or Wednesday for those of you overseas. The True Teacher 4. Little booklet of donors. I'm not gonna read this right now, but I'm gonna read it later. Ooh, at least a cold draft came from somewhere. It's getting chilly outside. That's no good. Winter is a-comin' in Canada land. Finish this page real quick. Oh, picnic. All right. Make that a little bit straighter. There we go. We are gonna call that a night, everybody. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, well, I apologize. I'm gonna do a poll on Instagram to see if people like the scrapbook editing or not. So I'll decide if I'm gonna keep doing that on stream. I enjoy doing it on stream, but I'm not sure if you guys do or not. It was fun. Did a little bit of writing. I'm looking forward to writing filming the signature for this week tomorrow. And got to do some scrapbooks. Like I said, these scrapbooks that I've been editing are on my website if you want to check them out, MrMGWard.com. In the archive, there's a vintage scrapbook section for all of these compilations that I'm putting together. And all that being said, I hope that you are falling in love with the process, this writing, beautiful process. And make sure, everybody, that make sure that you're falling in love with the process. I said that already. And don't forget, everybody, that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. Lights go off now. Well, the lights didn't go off. We're just gonna sit here awkwardly until the lights go off. It should be any second. Waiting for the lights to go off. And now. Well, the music ended. That would have been a good time. Now. It's supposed to be on. It's already midnight. It's already 12:01. What's wrong with my lights? Now. Oh, I was a little off. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night. I'll see you guys soon.